exactly why it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be a little bit difficult. It's supposed to be difficult so that they can't get away with all the stuff that they've been doing.
And you know, and the big fallacy is, I've been reading my daughter's textbooks after learning about Ron Paul and all of this. We're a democracy. We're a democracy.
We're not.
We're not. Ben Franklin did a quote. He said, democracy is two wolves and a lamb deciding what's for dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who's going to win. And we don't have that. We have a constitutional republic, which in a sense means that 51%, we have the Bill of Rights, freedom of speech, so that 51% cannot tell that 49%,
right,
you can't say that. They don't like democracy, because all that is whoever's got the largest numbers. If 10%
one doesn't like democracy?
The founders did not. I didn't finish my thought. You're right. The founders did not like democracy at all. You go back and read them. I've been reading them. I've never read their papers. We've been lied to.
Right.
We have been. Every textbook I'm reading says we're a democracy. We are not a democracy. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. Our founders wanted nothing to do with a democracy at all.
That's why we are called the Republic.
See, but I didn't know that. And all over my books, school books, my daughters are learning about it now. It says we're a democracy. I had to learn this stuff like I'm 12 again.
I know.
It's been fun, but
you know, whoever wins the fight gets to write the book. And so they've been winning, and that's why they've been writing the books.
That's why we failed to learn from history.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and they didn't want, like, if 90%,
We didn't get the real history.
they wanted freedom of speech for everyone. It wasn't like 90%. If you, 10%, you know, you have a group that you just hate what they say, and they're a small group. They didn't want that 90% to say to that 10%, you can't say that. They're saying, no, sorry, everybody gets the same rights. That's why they did not want the democracy, because that's all it is one side, whoever gets the largest numbers, telling the other side what to do.
Right.
And they said, no, there are certain things that every group has, this right, by God.
Right.
So it's ridiculous to think that we should have one group tell another group what to do.
I guess I got to jump in here. This is something that has come to me recently that I am encouraging everyone that I talk to about the whole presidential campaign scene. And I believe this is a truism. I stand to be corrected. You can email us and make sure that I get corrected. I believe America is on a collision course because the electorate in general has failed to obey its own conscience.
Absolutely.
And the options that we have facing us today are all a violation of my conscience. I have absolutely no one to vote for that is presently represented to us in the mainstream media.
Right.
Make that the lamestream media.
Right. Right.
The point of reality is that unless I obey my conscience, and the majority, because it is a democratic process which is utilized in this Republican form of government, that's a different thing than a democracy, okay? But it's a democratic process. Until we start to vote our conscience and act our conscience, there's not going to be a change.
More of the same or a little closer to socialism, I agree. Communism, fascism, whichever word you want to use. If you like our Constitution, you have to start voting for people that uphold it. That's the only thing we can do.
And you have to start calling your congressmen and your senators and telling them what you think. Because if they don't hear from you and they only hear from these special interest groups, that's what's going to, you know, help them.
I think even perhaps more fundamentally, Christine, we need to remind them not of what we think, but of what the oath was that they took.
Exactly. And if you're watching the John Adams movie, he did it last night. It was finally last night.
That's HBO, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I'm plugging HBO. But George Washington stood up there and he says, I take the oath and all of it. But then it says to protect, to execute, protect, and defend the Constitution. He does not say, even George Bush had to take that oath. It does not say, I'm going to protect you from some extreme terrorists and all that stuff that everybody's... He says, I'll defend the Constitution. None of them. None of them but this gentleman had defended. This man even tried to put a bill in saying, you cannot put a bill in Congress unless you tell us where in the Constitution it allows you to do this.
Right.
They laughed him down.
They did.
Yeah, that's just...
So if you don't care about the Constitution, I guess we're on the right course. We're fine going down that road. But if you like what it means to be American or what you've been taught it means and you care about that Constitution, read it.
Or if you've never read it, go find out what it says to be an American.
Hey, where can they get a little Constitution?
I was at Barnes & Noble not too long ago, and they had like a little flip chart. I also had a little booklet. It's not any bigger than that.
Yeah.
If they
It's
write
in
me
my
a
purse.
the politics at Yahoo, I'll get them one if I have to bring it to their door.
But, I mean, just so that people know,
You'll have to vote for Ron
can
Paul, I'll bring
you
it.
write the state for it? Can you?
It's on Ron Paul's website.
Yeah, you
He
can
has the
purchase them from
Constitution
just
and
about
the-
anywhere.
Anywhere being
Bookstores.
bookstores.
Ron Paul's website.
They're just
in the
little
website.
bitty pamphlets. They're not
They're not very big at all.
No,
Now, the United States
they
Code is a book that's about this big.
right.
and what's funny is they say in that,
Yeah, this is about as big as it is. It's just, a little bitty Constitution, but the most powerful document ever. Well, next to the Bible. The most
Chris.
powerful document ever.
and it says in there that if it's not stated in there what our government can do, that's for the people to decide. It says it in there. It's reserved for the people.
Right.
So they've basically taken this book, thrown it out the window, and said, we'll take care of you.
The other part I love about it is that Congress shall make no law.